Is it Kula Park? Listen, there's been something I've been wanting to talk to you about. In the fall, you know, you're going to go to art school. I'm going to play lacrosse on the East Coast, and I just feel like there's not a lot of time left. But whatever time there is, I want it to be with you.
We built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. Built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. You say you don't know me, recognize my face. You say you don't care who goes to that kind of place. Yeah, you need him in the hoopla, sinking in your fight. Too many runaways, eating up the night. Marconi plays the mambo. Listen to the radio. Don't you remember? We built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. We built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. Built this city. We built this city on.
The DGT SE, if you don't know, it's the artist David Grissom. He's a guitarist, fantastic guitarist. He came up with this with Paul Reed Smith, and they came up with the SE version after the success of the Silver Sky SE. In my eyes, the Silver Sky is what made PRS very mainstream and very cool. And then the SE version of that is, I mean, it was the #1 ordered guitar and reverb for like 2 years, right? Now that happened during the guitar boom, like during the pandemic, everyone decided to buy like 20 guitars. So I think that had something to do with it. But it's also because the Silver Sky SE is an amazing guitar. It's an outrageously good guitar for the price. And this is no different. This is an outrageously good guitar for the price. There are some shortcomings, but overall, this is such a great, versatile, and competent and musical sounding guitar.
Marconi plays the mambo. Listen to the radio. Don't you remember? We built.
The core model DGT, when it came out, was really a cool guitar. And it's important for a reason that no one's actually talking about, because it was the first PRS guitar that like the hardcore guitarists were allowed to like, right? There's a stigma about PRS guitarists where it's like, they got no soul. I have no idea what that means. I have no idea how to measure soul in a guitar. And I'm sure someone's gonna write down there, well, you know it when you got it, kid. I'm like, okay, dude. Now, I don't work for PRS, like, but I feel the need to like push back against like this thing that I see it written in these YouTube comments all the time. I see YouTubers say it, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. I've heard really good guitarists play PRS guitars, and it sounds really good. John Mayer plays PRS, like, does he not have soul? That all that goes to show me is that there's this inherent bias against PRS guitars. Now, I paid for this guitar, full price, all right? So like, this is not sponsored by them by any means. The DGT came out and people go, you know, I don't really like PRS guitars, but I do like the DGT. It was the first one that allowed guitarists, they were allowed socially and spiritually to like a PRS guitar because it was a great guitar. Now, in their defense, it wasn't really like the other PRS guitars, right? People didn't like the flame maple tops. That's fine, that's an aesthetic choice. So the gold top was a nice way to say like, hey, I'm not like those other PRSs. Some people don't like the birds, which is fine, that's up to them. So the moons made it really safe, right? It was a very safe PRS guitar to like. It allowed people to say, I like PRS guitars without losing their cred among the gatekeepers and the haters. But this is why the SE version is so great, because before you had to spend $4,000. Then the SE came out. It took PRS by storm. How many of you are still waiting for your PRS DGT SE? I ordered this in January, and I just got it last month. And the weirdest thing in the world is that this is the bridge volume. It confuses me, and I'm probably gonna change it in the long run. worst humbuckers I've ever heard. When you split them, they actually sound good. Like, have you heard that ever? Now, it's not a strat. It doesn't sound like a strat. It won't sound like a strat, and I'll show you. We'll do a comparison a little bit later. Just don't get it through your head that it's a strat replacement, because it's not. It's a humbucker. But if you're looking for a single coil sound, you can confuse a lot of people on stage. But let's make it sound better. Here's a little compression. Let's add a little bit of boost. Yeah, dude. Great single coil sound now, right? I'm sure you've experienced this. A lot of times when you split a humbucker, there's like a lot of weird trebliness, which is why it's good to have a boost on hand. I'm using the DCX Boost, which has EQ in it too, which is really nice. I did a video on that. You can like shape it, which I think is important when you're splitting a humbucker. If you're thinking about getting this guitar and you're worried about how to shape it when you split it, just get an EQ pedal or a boost with an EQ, and then you can add the sparkle you would need, right? Okay? Just pull back the volume one, right? Right? When have you heard a split humbucker sound that cool? Oh, a lot of times on a neck humbucker, there's this woofiness. Woofiness. You'll see that written a lot in YouTube comments. Woofiness is a low mids, but it's true. Like sometimes it can get boomy, right? Nice and clear, lots of clarity. Pickups on this guitar sound as good as any of the other pickups that I have on my other guitars, as my Lawlers, my Fralins, the PRS Core. I mean, really, really cool, man. Middle pickup sounds great, nice and bell. Nice percussive tone, great for those kinds of licks, right? So you got to know the bridge pickup is good because David Grissom loves the bridge pickup. In fact, you should know that this is the most important pickup of the guitar because that's the knob that's closest to your hand. So like this guitar is built around the bridge pickup, okay? So nice. It's not harsh, not piercing. And that's clean. Clean bridge pickup into a Fender usually is not like the great tone everyone searches for. And yet, this sounds great. Awesome bridge pickup. cool guitar, right? So you can see, is this thing a hype machine or not? You have to factor fun into your guitar purchases, right? Is it fun? Do you like playing it? When you play it, does it make you feel good? And then, of course, it will sound good. This is a really cool guitar, man. Let's dive in very quickly to the drawbacks, okay? One is the volume knob. I've talked about that. Confusing, frustrating, but easy fix for any competent guitar tech. Not for me, too hard for me. But other people, they could probably do it. Two, the knob. Your pinching better be very strong. You better have strong pinch modes because pulling these knobs up, not easy. Again, switch the knobs out. Get some top hats and you're good to go. Or get another toggle switch drilled into the body if you can stomach that. The last one is more of a comment on PRS quality control. This is the first PRS I had that the tuning and the stability and everything was all jacked up. Every PRS I've bought prior to this one has been perfect out of the box. SE, S2, Core. This is the first one that wasn't like that. Now, again, I'm not great at setups, but I was able to figure it out after a couple of days. I kept tinkering and twisting and turning things, and now I'm like, okay, this is where it's supposed to be. It's mostly stable, and I will say the bridge is not perfectly stable. My S2 Custom 24, that thing, you can dive bomb all a live long day, and that'll stay in tune. My old Core Custom 24 that I sold like an idiot, that too. The Silver Sky SE I have stays in tune a lot. If I keep this guitar for longer than 5 years, I'll probably upgrade the bridge on it to like an American bridge. And if that fixes it, that's great. Now I just did a lot of dives and bends, right? Let's see what it sounds like. Still pretty good, actually. So that's minor enough to be able to tune in between songs, no problem. Now, I'm not sure if it's because they're scrambling to get like thousands of these things out to everyone that's ordered it on Sweetwater and all the other retailers, or if it's a matter of this new factory just kind of trying to figure out this new style of guitar. I'm sure the tolerances for this are much higher than their previous SE guitars. But it is something to note, something to keep in mind. If you can play it first without pre-ordering, that'd be ideal. Now, the fret dressing, perfect, beautiful. The nut itself, like the functionality of the nut is great. There is a part of the nut missing here that I ordered, which was kind of surprising. I asked my retailer about it. They said, oh, that's fine. Now, but other than that, fit and finish, awesome. Like across the board, fretboard looks great. Body looks great. Color looks great. Humbuckers look great. There's no scratches, no nothing. And then the last thing to talk about is the fretboard. The fretboard, is wide and thin, is what it feels like to me. It's not deep, not nearly as deep as my SC24 or the original 52 Telecaster neck that I had. I mean, I don't know how to like describe necks, but it does feel very flat. It's a 10-inch radius, so it's a little bit flatter than what I'm used to. And the edges aren't as rolled. I'll probably go in there and like ruin this neck to make it feel better. Maybe it's a 10-inch radius I'm not used to, but it does feel like a taller or wider fretboard, but not as deep. So again, if you can play one somewhere, try it. More pickup stuff. Let's go through the single coil bridge. This sounds so good. turn on some compressor. Great split bridge humbucker like that. Sounds really good. I just didn't expect it. You can kind of, that could pass for like a strat or tele tone, right? That would pass more for like a strat bridge pickup. Like listen to. Both pickups split. A little compression on, right? Great. Great split sound, man. I can see you're not impressed. I can see you don't care. Let's compare it to your favorite guitars. So as you can see, this guitar gets pretty close to like what you're going after, but it's got its own sound as well, and its own sound is very cool. It's very vintage. It's very rock based. I mean, that's why I picked "We Built This City" as a song, because I feel like this is like a rock and roll guitar that can do other things, right? In that last tele one, you can tell the floating bridge means you can't do crazy double stops, triple stops. You can't bend it a whole note. You can bend a half note. Like that's the most you can do before everything starts falling out of tune. So if you're a big double stop player, you're big into crazy bends and stuff like that, not the guitar for you. But I'm sure you already knew that because you're a smart person. You know who I think this guitar is for? I mean, obviously, like anyone who's in the cover band, like if you don't want a custom 24, like this is your guitar, man. In fact, I would say this over the custom 24 SE or S2. This is just really fun and really cool to play. As long as you don't mind those caveats, right? Cover band guy, rock and roll guy, session guy, road guy. I mean, this covers a lot of bases. It can do it all convincingly. Yet another guitar in my versatile guitar collection. Like, why do we as guitarists want every guitar to be versatile? Why can't we have one-trick ponies? I like one-trick ponies. It does one thing, it does it well, it knows what it wants, it knows what it wants to be. If you have a Strat and you don't want to dive all the way to Les Paul land, this is your guy. Let's say you're Les Paul guy or you're humbucker guy and you're two humbucker guy and you don't want to dive all the way into single coil land, this is your guitar. This is like a gateway guitar. Just like all the haters realize this is the safe guitar to like within PRS, this is going to be the safe guitar for you too, right? This can be the safe entry level into like whatever direction you want. This is like a Stargate, right? You walk into this thing and you can walk out wherever you want. You never tried a PRS guitar before, but you want to try. You don't want anyone to make fun of you. You don't want mean comments on gearpage.com. That's the guitar, right? Like this is a portal guitar. This is a Stargate. This is access to other lands filled with beautiful riches and bounties. Alex, you love this guitar, and won't you marry it? And that, which I would say, I'm not gonna marry a guitar. That's crazy, you know? You can't be in love with the guitar. Like, the guitar can't love you back, not in the way that, you know, you would want it to. You can't go on dates, you can't envision yourself with a guitar, you know, living a beautiful life, having fun with a guitar, right?
We built